Here are 10 signs that you are a prophet. Number 1, another prophet who has already been called by God and who's already walking in their gift will recognize who you are, and they will tell you that you are just like them. That's because most of the time when someone have a similar calling to you, you can sense that, because you guys have a lot of similarities. And if you have the eyes to see, you will see who is, who in the spirit. Number 2, God will lead you to read Jeremiah 1 verse 5 and Ezekiel 2. Those two books and chapters talks about being called as a prophet. So he will lead you to read them to know who you are. Number 3, you've been through a lot and you gain wisdom and understanding from every single thing you've been through. Number 4, you have a pure heart, or you have a lot of love in your heart. No matter what is done to you in life, your heart is still pure and you just carry so much love. That's because a prophet is a representation of God. You must have love in your heart because God will be sending you to the poor, the rich, the criminals, everyone that you can think of. So you must have love in your heart in order to greet everyone with love, no matter what they're going through. Because you are a representation of God and God is love. So in order to represent God, you must as well have love. Number 5, I might get a lot of hate for this one, but it's really true. One thing that I notice in all prophets or prophetic people is that they've been through some type of sexual abuse or sexual molestation at some point in their life. And that's because the enemy uses that or try to cause that to cause trauma in our lives or to cause defilement. Number 6, you've had a lot of traumatic things that happen to you, and yet your heart still remains pure and you still love. That is because God's hand is on your heart to restore your heart after every bad incident, because you must have love in order to fulfill the calling of a prophet. Satan's number 1 tactics is to cause so much trauma to you so that your heart can be filled with hate so God can't use you. But God is not going to let that happen. That's why God makes sure he heals you and restores you after every single bad thing. Number 7, you desire to hear from God like really badly. You don't know what it is, but you just want to hear from God like really, really badly. And that is because God placed that desire in you. Prophets are literally God's best friend. God tells us everything, or whatever he chooses to tell us. So of course he's going to put that desire in you to want to hear him. Number 8, you have a lot of dreams and visions that come true, and you've had them since you were young. And that is the number 1 way that God speaks to prophets, is through dreams and visions. He will show you things about yourself, show you things about people, etc. So that's the number 1 way to know that you're a prophet, is if you have a lot of dreams and visions that comes true or where God speaks to you. Number 9, you're a really humble person. That is because the prophetic calling is a very high calling, and in order for you to operate in it, you must be humble to God, because God is not going to use somebody who have so much ego, because they're going to think that it is them who is God, and they're going to put all the glory on themselves. So that's why a prophet has to be humble in order for them to do the works of God, because they know that it is not them, it is God who is revealing everything to them. So yeah, prophets are humble by nature, but if you are not humble by nature, God will make things happen in your life to cause you to be humble, and then he'll use you. Number 10, videos about prophets will start popping up in your For You page. That is because God is trying to tell you something. I remember when I was young, when I was like, I don't know, probably like 15 or something, I didn't even know what a prophet was. And I had so much videos about it, like just popping on my page. I watched those videos because, there was a desire in me to know what that is. But looking back at it now, that was God basically trying to show me who I am way before I even had a relationship with God. So if videos about being called a prophet, etc., popping up on your For You page, God is trying to tell you something.